That's right, guys. It's not clickbait. I got busted by the state of Florida for selling these. Well, not these exactly, but I got busted for selling aquatic plants. In this video, I'm going to tell you what happened, show you proof, what I did about it, and where we're going to go from here. So this all began earlier this year, and it took me about 6 months or so to even figure out if I was going to make this video, if it was interesting for you guys. But a lot of you reached out and kind of asked me what happened to your plant selling business. So I figured I would go ahead and make you a video and tell you what happened. It all began with an email from DPI, which is a company that works with Florida's Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services, aka the Florida government. I'm going to put the email up on the screen here while I kind of talk about it a little bit. You can pause the video and read this email entirely if you'd like to. But essentially what happened was I got an email from them saying that they had found my eBay listings. And one of the plants on the eBay listing was for dwarf water lettuce. Now, ignorance is no excuse for breaking the law, but these plants were so readily available in the aquarium hobby that I figured, well, if you can buy an aquarium plant online and have it shipped to you, right, there shouldn't be any issue. Dwarf water lettuce is on the noxious weed list for the state of Florida, so it is prohibited to own it, sell it, cultivate it, any of that kind of stuff. You just can't have it at all in the state of Florida unless you have a very special permit. So when I first saw this email, I was like, oh my God, I am busted. Like, what's going to happen now? All it says is like, please contact us. So I went ahead and contacted them. And a very nice lady by the name of Kelly replied back, and going through the email, she's just kind of doing her job and sending links like read this and read that. There's so much information on the agricultural laws in Florida that I just picked up the phone and called her. So upon talking to her, I explained to her, look, I'm just a hobbyist. Like, I'm just a guy at home with a bunch of aquariums, and I'm trying to offset some of the cost of this by selling some plants. And she said, look, it's okay. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's a big deal, don't get me wrong, but it's not a big deal legally. We're not going to put you in jail or anything like that. But we do need to now pursue this because you've already broken the law, essentially. So her first question was, do you want to keep selling plants? And I said, well, yeah, kind of, I was making pretty good money at it. And she said, cool. Well, we're going to have to send an inspector out to inspect your nursery. And I said, nursery? Wait a minute. I'm not a nursery. I'm just a dude at home with a bunch of aquariums. All right, so I don't want to ramble too much, but Kelly put me in touch with Angie, who is the regional inspector for the Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services. So I then got in contact with Angie, and this is like the first time she's ever really dealt with something like this. So we didn't really know how to proceed. But upon talking through it, she said, look, if you want to keep selling plants, I got to come out and inspect. If you don't want to keep selling plants, I have to come witness you destroy all of your plants. And I was like, okay. So again, the main concern was the dwarf water lettuce. So she asked me, do you still have some? And I said no, because Kelly told me to destroy it immediately. She asked how I destroyed it, and I said I put it outside in a burn barrel, and when it dried up, I burnt it. And she went, cool, we appreciate that. That's a good way to destroy a plant. Now briefly, why does this even matter? Well, a noxious weed in the state of Florida is a plant that they are afraid will get into the water system, take over, as water lettuce does very quickly, and kind of like destroy the habitat or the ecosystem within the waterways. And if you don't know, Florida is really, 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 really big on protecting their wildlife and their ecosystems. Hey, since we're talking about plants, let's get rid of this black background here. It's kind of boring, I know, and let's get some better scenery. There we go. That's better, huh? Obviously, I didn't have all of my plants destroyed. So I set up an appointment with Angie, and what she was going to do was come out and literally inspect all the plants and have to do a count of all the plants. And I'm not going to get into it too much. The inspection process was quite funny. She showed up at my house and was like, I don't even know where to start. And say like carpeting plants here, I don't know if you can see any of them, but with carpeting plants, what do you call a plant? Is it one leaflet is a plant? Is it one stem is a plant? Is it one runner is a plant? Anyway, they have regulations based on how many plants you are propagating. So like up to 2,000 is a certain level, and up to 5,000 is another level, and et cetera, et cetera. So trying to figure out how many plants I had was quite comical. So she asked how I want to proceed, and option one was just not sell plants, and they would leave me alone unless they saw me listing plants again, which they would come back out and have to reinspect and all that stuff. And being that I was already on their radar, I figured they were probably going to follow up. Or option 2 was you go ahead and register with the state of Florida as a legal nursery, and then you can do whatever you want. And registration was not that expensive, so I opted to go ahead and do that. And as you see on screen here, this is my certificate as a registered plant nursery in the state of Florida, which I'm going to have to renew here in a little bit. So what am I going to do now? Well, I'm going to ramp up production again. I'm going to start getting back into the plant selling business. I want to start a website. I don't think I'm going to put them back on eBay. It can be kind of a hassle to deal with eBay. As you saw in the thumbnail, I've already started to ramp up production. You can't see it because it's off camera, and I'm not going to show you in this video because I'm a YouTuber and I want you to watch the next video that's going to be released about the propagation and selling of plants. So now would be a good time to subscribe if you haven't already, and you'll be able to find that video easier. So again, you already saw in this video, I'm doing things potted. You can kind of figure it out. It's a lot easier than buying more aquariums to grow more aquarium plants. Also helps me keep my plants snail free, provide a better plant for you guys if you want to buy them and support the channel, things like that. For those of you that have been asking for plants, they're coming. And so really that's it. I mean, I'm going to be working on this stuff over the next couple of weeks, getting things built back up. I do appreciate all you guys that supported me in the plant hobby business beforehand. Hopefully I can get you guys back into that and sell you some beautiful plants. I hope the video was kind of interesting for you. I like to bring you real life stuff and kind of not sugarcoat anything. Hopefully it wasn't boring for you. I know it was kind of a talking head video. So anyway, I'll keep the outro short. Thanks for supporting the channel. Thanks for watching the videos. Thanks for subscribing, all that good stuff. Love you guys. I'll catch you on the next video.